What Blender might call ANT landscape, I'm going to call the landscape tool or landscape mesh tool, whatever. I found it and it's really cool and it leaves you with something that is very useful. So let's hop into Blender, get rid of that default cube. First of all, we need to jump into the preferences. Let's just look up land and ANT landscape. That's the add mesh. Yes, that's exactly what we want. So enable that and then Shift A to add the landscape down here at the bottom of your mesh. Now you have this option right here. If you clicked away, you're going to need to open it up again and try once more. Perhaps that will change in the Blender future, but for now, I believe that's how it still is. So right off the get, this starts with subdivisions X and Y. I noticed if you turn it down, it does lower the quality. But if you turn it up, it doesn't really appear to do too much, meaning that 128 is probably the perfect number. You can leave it right where it's at. If unless your computer is having trouble, I don't recommend really messing around with that. You don't. It's unnecessary. However, mesh size very much important because when you resize this mesh after you are done with it, you are resizing the entire thing, not doing anything with any of these offsets or anything, which I'll talk about here in a second. But this will create your general mesh size, the one that you're going to be using from then on. If that makes sense. I'm hoping I'm coming across clear here. I don't know. Random seed, you can. It's very much like inputting a level or something inside of a simple computer game. It's really what it feels like with this add-on. I'm surprised I haven't really heard about it much other than me talking about it here now. Anyways, when you offset it, it's like scrolling on a map and picking a different section of land that you want to use. And it feels very much like they're using a piece of land that is real. And then you can also size the geometry map that you are peeking into with this plane. I guess I don't know. I'm hoping my description of this is making sense. But think of this plane as a magnifying glass, and the geometry as the material you are viewing through the glass. Anyways, that's what that does. Scrolls through and then squishes it, squash and stretch, and you can end up with some interesting geometry that way. Noise size, quite literally, will work the same way that a node would, as far as noise and displacement size works. It's exactly the same. You can basically achieve the same thing with these scrolls here. Now the depth, change the depth, and I don't think that matters too much until you start getting down too far. Dimension. Once you reach a point with any of this, it starts hitting a wall. There is a wall there, so you can go too far. Just a heads up with all of these. Every single one of them ends at a certain point, and I think it's because of the original measurement of whatever they're using as a template for these displacements, which really that's all that they're doing is pushing and pulling from the bottom and pulling it up to the top. Now down here, by the way, when you use the scroll wheel, it will just scrunch everything together instead of scrolling down, so kind of gets harder to see. You can change the height of everything, the offset of everything, the maximum height of everything, which actually that might fix a lot of this. Oh, there it sure does. So this will change the wall that you'll hit, so your displacement can be insane. Which I just learned that just now. And then, yeah, your edge level determines where your mesh starts, which I'm not sure why you would change that unless you're like too far into your edit and you're not willing to start over again, I guess. But you should kind of have an idea of where you're going to start, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure that'll come in handy somehow, some way to somebody. The Fallout, I think, quite literally is like um, to make everything consistent. Like, so there's more consistency. Like it generalizes the median. I don't know how to explain that exactly. Um, let's just say it makes everything the same. So it'll pull all the smalls up to the tallest, therefore creating a more of a balance of size. So now it doesn't look like geometry at all. It looks like the top of a cave or something. Um, yeah, and then when you're done, you hit tab and look at the crazy geometry that you have, and you can add things like where's remesh? Oh my gosh, remesh. You can do some pretty fun things once it's all put together. Make it into blocks. Anyways, you got the idea, I believe. Oh, well, whoa, that's insane. Wow. Anyways, the landscape tool. That's what I was talking about. Check it out for yourself. It's pretty fun, and I think I recorded a little too long, honestly, to talk about the tool as simple as it is, but it's pretty fun if you haven't checked it out yet. Anyways, that was a extended for no necessary reason tutorial from Eric Pauly at erply.com and the Erply YouTube channel.